Once upon a time, there was a good old traditional housewife. She cooked, she cleaned, cared for her children and the man of the house, and of course, she didn't talk back. She was both obedient and soft by nature. She was a good woman who always made good choices.
Shut that shit off.
We're good moms, bad choices.
Two single moms
Who said fuck the patriarchy
shared all their bad choices
and found out they weren't so bad after all.
We're experts,
overshares,
and your new besties.
Sit back and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices. I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
Happy hump day, bitches.
Happy Wednesday, y'all. What it do? It's the last Wednesday of August, and then we're in our last quarter of the year. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm looking forward to fall. It's been hot as fuck all summer. Hot here, hot in Costa Rica. Got back. There's a heat wave. And yeah, and mommy needs a motherfucking break because mom's been momming all motherfucking summer. Besides, when Irie went to summer camp and maybe went on a short trip with her dad, I've pretty much had Irie all summer, and I'm obsessed with my child. I want nothing more than to be with her all the time, truly. But then also, I know when I need I'm getting to the point where it's like I know that I need a little bit of a break just to be Erica for a second. And maybe school year will help with that.
I mean, it certainly will, because you'll have that guaranteed, 8 to 10 hours, 5 days a week, which is a blessing.
I know, but you know what? When it is the school year, those 8 to 10 hours feel like 4 hours, maybe like 3.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
it
you
does.
drop them off and then you're like back there.
It's true. I'm always like, it's over already? What the fuck? That's true.
So I don't know. I'm like, whatever that thing is that's like making summer days shorter or spinning on its axis at a maximum speed this year, I need it to do the reverse during the fall.
It does. I mean, this summer went by really fast. I know we traveled a lot, and so it was like back-to-back trips, which kind of sped it up a lot. But and also like doing a retreat while the kids are in Costa Rica, it hits different. There's a level of like, it's like mom times 100. Because you're caring for people, you're caring for your kid. There's no time off. Even the days where we're like we're on property the whole time, but like the days when we're done with the retreat, the kids are like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and like, let's watch a movie, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
24/9 momming. So yeah, and your mom was on this retreat, so that's even a different level of care. How was that?
Who are you telling? It was good. It was good, but I'm tired. I feel like between the 3 retreats we did this summer, because we did 3 couples retreat, 2 women's retreat, and then I feel like I retreated my mom after the retreat. A bitch is fucking burnt out. My healing powers need to be recharged. Okay. I need a healing, like, plug-in activator.
Not plug in.
I feel like the magic from my fingertips is like, it's like they're starting to like
sizzle.
So, all the Reiki I did and all the fucking
But there's a short you need to plug in.
There's a shortage. It's like, yeah, I really need a healer starter pack, charging pack or something. It was good. I realized yesterday is really when I realized this. Well, actually, I know this about myself, but it was reactivated yesterday. We had a barbecue at my mom's house. But going back to your question about how I was my mom at the retreat, my whole goal was to A, not have expectations, B, not let my mommy pleasing take over. And I did a pretty good job, but obviously it's not about pleasing, because I think we want to take care of our mothers. We want to make sure our mothers are comfortable. But for me, it's deeper than that. It's like, I want to make my mom proud. I want to make sure like she understands why I love this place so much. I want her to like see me as like in this space that I'm in and like respect it and respect me. I want her to talk to the group. I want her to integrate. because I know she needs it too. Like I know that she needs it, and I think like her coming on this experience allowed me to kind of be in that role of caretaker for her. And I knew I was taking on that role. And I was happy to do it, and I'm happy to do it. But I'm tired. I'm tired, you know, like I realized in this retreat space too with my mom, it's like our moms are just girls, you know? And like
Baby girls, to be
yeah,
specific.
and there were like moments that, you know, I thought that she would be able to engage better, specifically in one moment in our workshop. We have an eye gazing moment, and I was really surprised at how challenging that was for her with me, you know? And then I also realized that I've probably never stared at my mom in her eyes for more than maybe 10 seconds. So we're asking, you know, the ladies to stare in their paired partner's eyes for 60 seconds, which is not even that long. But when I was there with her, because I paired myself with her, um, I was like, I've done this so many times that I like the gazing. I love it, you know. And so I was ready. I was like, oh my god, finally I get to gaze in my mom's eyes. And you know, it was emotional for me. Not like I started crying, and she was like, why are you crying? And I was like, because I love you. What the fuck? And I could just see how challenging it was for her to remain like keep engaged with me. Like she kept kind of looking away, and it's like, wow, like not only I do this work with women, but like I realize how much work our parents need as well from us. And I was thinking about that too. Actually, we have follow up calls with our attendees after the retreat to check in, and one of them, she's a therapist, so she was like therapizing me. I'm like, bitch, I'm supposed to check in with you. She was like, how was your mom? How did it feel with having your mom? This is like Ruth from week 1, so my mom came week 2, and and yeah, I mean, I think it was really interesting to see the places where my mom, I think, has never got the chance to really expand in. You know, never got the chance to really even sit in and enjoy. Like I was like thinking, like probably the last time I stared at my mom for 60 seconds was like when I was a baby, like looking up at her and her looking at me. And there's like nothing, it's just a blank slate, you know? And now this is not a blank slate. This is 37 years of raising me and all types of shit. And yeah, it was beautiful. What I was going to say is like I realized this work is so important for mother daughters. Like I really am excited for you to have your mom come on the retreat one day, and so that you can like experience this too and see like the places where you see your mom as just a girl. Like damn, you're like a little girl right here. And it was it was a lot emotionally. I think I'm still processing it. I feel like I'm gonna cry right now. Like I think I'm still processing it.
It's a lot. And you know, I realize, I mean, just by observing you in the thing, like I know that it was a big deal for her to come. I mean, I can only imagine. It's a very intimate space and we do it all the time, but to have your mom there, it's like a level of intimacy that sometimes it's easier to be intimate with people that you don't know. And it's really interesting to see how stagnant and how challenging it is even in this work to do it with people that are close to us. And I mean, like we always say this, and I'm happy that we set the bar this way, is like, yes, we're facilitating, but I wouldn't say that we are masters at this. You know, we're often experiencing the retreat. We're every time we're experiencing the retreat as we're facilitating it, and we're expanding and we're growing. And you know, even sometimes me and Erica, as me and you, will have issues. Not even issues. It's easier to facilitate the medicine than sometimes taking it. And
No,
so
it's true.
there's always going to be there's all like especially when you step into this space, like spirit is always going to invite you to expand more and more and more and more, and it's hard because you're like, fuck, haven't I done enough? And I thought about that a lot while I was there, like, how would my mom be in this space? How would I be in this space? And you know, I'm really grateful. I think my mom has done a lot of work in the last 2 years that, I have to acknowledge, and I'm sure there's more work to do. Like, we're all still growing. So I'm really excited to get her there. But it's also interesting observing your mom in this space, because I can also see her, obviously she's your mom, but I also see her like when I'm, obviously when we have groups, we're observing the group too. We're observing how people are opening up, if they're taking the medicine, if they're like open to it, if they're more closed off. And I saw too, and it's interesting to be best friends with you and spend this much time with you. Obviously, I've never been on a trip with your mom or you guys together, so it was interesting to observe her in the space, because there's parts of her that I can see parts of you more clearly, because I'm just seeing her in a close space, an intimate space. And I was facilitating that portion when you guys were holding hands and leaning in, because everybody's blindfolded, so I can like listen to answers and like oversee it. And I can see too where she was like a little bit resistant, a little bit like um not closed off, but guarded. And I think that's normal. Like, a lot of people come that way. I'm that way in certain situations, so I understand it. But to see her, I mean, probably in her mind, it's like not put on the spot, but kind of, because you're here now and I'm staring in your eyes, mom, and I'm asking you deep and personal questions, and we're getting deep. And I think that our parents come from a generation that was the norm. Their parents didn't do it with them. There's no like, they're like, okay, all right, that's enough deep shit. Like, let's carry on, And so we both come from families that way in a certain capacity. And we are doing work and initiating a type of work that is not necessarily the norm. And sometimes, like, I think parents will try to make you feel crazy, like you're so cheesy and like woo woo. So it's another form of avoiding deepening the intimacy and deepening the connection. And so it was interesting to see her like slowly drop down into it, and just be in the space and observe it, and like just kind of get into it without having this idea of whatever she thought was happening prior to actually experiencing it.
It's funny because you might want to blow your nose, baby. It's a lot of.
Okay, sorry, I'm sick. Hold on.
Being with her there, yes, I figured. And I meant to ask you this, like, do you get how I am, why I am the way I am now?
I mean,
because you haven't really spent a lot of time with my mom. You've just heard me talk about her. You've gotten glimpses of her, like, here and there throughout, our friendship together. But I had that thought at the retreat, because like my mom is like, she's she's observant, but like what I've gotten from my mom, well, it's a little bit of both. My mom's judgmental, period. Like, she'll never admit it, but she is. And I'm a bit judgmental for sure. I can be in some ways. And the thing about her is that very rarely does she change her mind. Like, I feel like with me, I'm open. Like, I'm open to my mind changing. Like, I've said, oh, I was wrong about that person, or like, I'm willing to like check in with myself and do that, whereas my mom is not. There's a stubbornness in her, and when she makes her mind up about something, it is what it is. And I think like the retreat was challenging for me, because again, like, I was trying to work through my mommy pleasing, and while also like taking care of a lot of other women, and also for 2 weeks, and then taking care of my daughter, and then after the retreat taking care of her as well, because my mom was going through some shit. And it's like, it was heavy the whole retreat. There was shit going. I was like literally asking God, like, why, God, what is going on? Why are you throwing all these obstacles at my mom at this moment, where like I've prayed for this moment for her to come here and be able to like rest here, and there's all this shit happening back home. My grandma's in the hospital, like so many things that like are pulling at her away from being present here. And like, she pushed through, and I took the reins a lot. Literally, I took her phone one day. I deleted Instagram off of her phone for the entire trip. I downloaded Spotify and like downloaded a bunch of playlists so that she didn't need to be. I put her phone on airplane mode so that she didn't need to actually like. My mom is a doom scroller. I just realized that even our parents of a different generation who didn't grow up on the phones are severely addicted to these phones. And it's become like a distraction for whatever, I mean, for all of us, but like for whatever is happening in our lives, we just distract ourselves and also like start like judging ourselves based on whatever we're looking at on the internet and connected to our email. Like my mom has a lot of like fear around like not being present in her business and like missing something and everything's going to fall apart, you know? And um it was really hard for me to watch her, and she was dealing with severe back problems the whole time. So it was like weighing on me, and I like I'm such an empath, and I like never thought that I was. And I don't like it's like getting to the point like now where it's like I don't even know how to deal with it sometimes, because I don't know if like my empathy like has just begun to expand as I get older, whereas before like I was able to like compartmentalize things where I can't anymore. And like I'm deeply affected by like energies. So I'm like, I have a lot of protective practices, and I talk about this with the ladies at the retreat, but like no one can prepare you for like the protective practice of your parent. You know, like it's like an emotional like umbilical cord that can't be like undone. And I'm like at work. And so it was good, but it was heavy for me a lot. Um and I want to do it again. I wish that she would come again. Maybe in a different moment in her life where like she can actually really surrender to the experience, like physically, like when her body feels better, and just like when she feels more at peace with where she's at in her life. Like I not that like I know that people come to the retreat for that reason, but I think because she's never given herself a break in that way, and she's never like done any type of work like this truly, which is so interesting to me, because the reason why I'm into the woo woo shit is because of that woman. Like growing up, she had me on astrologyzone.com. She's the one who was like all up in my horoscope. She was the one who was like meeting with readers and spiritualists, and she was the one who was butt ass naked in my house all the time. And like it's almost like she's forgotten that piece of her. Like she's become very cynical and like scared, I think.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
there's always like there's you know, even us, for people who are not our parent or not a family member, there are people who come in the retreat more than once, and we literally see two totally different versions of them. Like I'm thinking of Ashley right now. Like shout out to Ashley in New York. She knows who she is, and she's been on more than one retreat. And like the person we saw the first time, obviously there was a level of evolution to the last day. But when I saw her again the following year, or maybe it was that summer, total night and day. Like and so I realized in this work, it's like everyone is coming at showing up at different places. And so if you haven't really even considered opening up and what that means to your nervous system, and like yeah, like it begins with the Astro Cafe and the readers, because that's fun, but like the commitment to getting into the spiritual part of self and to the emotional work is something different. And I also, you know, considering like seeing you with your mom, and then also even your grandmother, who I spend even less time with, but I know she's around, considering how your mom was raised by your grandmother and how that's affected her, and how, you know, like just visually seeing and observing the things that we take from our parents. And you know, earlier we like when we were just recording and we had to start over because of technology, you said, it's interesting, you said like, I'm not a people pleaser, but I do always want to please my mom. And I'm like, that's interesting, like to not have, because I'm someone who's had people pleasing tendencies, and I think it's because growing up I needed attention that I didn't get. Like there was a level of, oh, she's all right, you know, because I was self-sufficient, or I had to be. So there was like maybe a people pleasing to like, hey, like look at me. So I'm wondering, like like, where do you think the need for validation from your mom comes from so strongly, whereas outside people you're just like, I could care less, you know what I mean? Like, I think I felt like most people have that need for validation from their parents, but I don't really. Like, I'm really big on, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, whether you criticize me or not, from my parents. And I think that's the rebellious part of me, probably because I was probably neglected a little bit. So I'm wondering, like, what do you think that is? Because I think that is probably something that you are being asked to explore, and a part of, like, I'm sure that came up while you were there. And it's like, okay, well, what is it in my childhood that made me feel that I needed to, like, really hear this from her? Is it that maybe she didn't say that to you growing up, or like did that come through at all, being in this intimate space with her on the retreat?
Um, yeah, I'm definitely like, I think I'm still exploring it, but I think some of it comes from her being my only parent, really.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have both parents in the house. She's my primary parent. She's always been my primary parent. Obviously, me and my dad have a relationship now, but it's more like my homie than like a parental person. So I think like I think as children, we want to please our parents. Like, we're like, "Mommy, look at me. Like, look at this cartwheel. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this." And perhaps I didn't get enough attention. I don't know. I mean, I don't recall that feeling growing up, but I do know that my mom was working a lot. So perhaps it was like internalized in me, and it paired with the criticalness that I experienced as a child. Like, my grandmother, so critical of my mother, so critical of everything, everyone. My mom always said, like, my grandmother barely told her she loved her. Like, she showed her love through cooking and like making their clothes. My grandmother cared so deeply about what people thought about her children. Still now cares so deeply what people think about every little thing. And that's translated to my mother in ways. It's not as severe, just like it's translated to me in ways. Like, it's lightened and lightened and lightened, but it's still there even in me. And I think like being young and wanting to be I think I started acting really young, and I wanted to be in this entertainment industry that my mom was already in as a makeup artist. And that probably made the criticalness seem, it made her critique me, but for a purpose, right? You say you want to do this thing, so then you need to do this and this. So like at a very young age, I was hyper aware of like, okay, like, did I say thank you? Did I, like, my mom even does this now. Did you say thank you? I'm like, Mom, I'm fucking almost 40 years old. I don't need you to tell me, ask if I said thank you. Okay. So I see her do it with my brother. I see her do it with my family. I see how annoyed everybody gets with her. And she's so confused, like, doesn't understand why people are annoyed. And, but I know that it comes from a good place. And I know that a lot of it comes from my grandmother. So I think like there's just wanting her to, I guess, be proud of me in ways. And it's not like she hasn't said she's proud of me, but it's like there's always like this little tinge of something there that I can't put my finger on, that makes me feel like it's not quite right, like almost got it right. And that's how I've felt like most of my life with her. And so I've always been I've been highly critical of myself. I've been like very self-conscious about my body, but like no one would ever know that. I never like let on, like, I mean, I've done a lot of work now, but like I don't really let people into those insecurities into me. It's like all internal. Because I've also watched my mom be very critical of herself, and still, like, on this trip, the amount of negative self-talk that I was fighting against with her all day was fucking exhausting. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, at one point, I was like, you gotta stop. Like, you have got to fucking stop. Like, like, I don't, so I think it's just.
Did she hear you? Did you?
No, and I've done this with her too as a kid too. Like, I remember being a teenager, like, Mom, like, stop talking about so bad about your body. Like, what do you think that does for me? Like, how do you think that makes me feel? And she'll, I'm sorry, but then she'd right back on it. Like, it's like a habit. She can't help it. you know, and like she's a Libra, so like her whole world is about making things beautiful, like leaving things better than she left them. Like Libras just love beauty and making things beautiful and pretty, and they can like see the beauty, see like, you know, the ugly duckling, and like how they can make her, you know, that's why she's a fucking makeup artist, that's why she's a brand founder in beauty. Like I get it, she's, but like with me it was like detrimental. And so I think like I've spent a lot of time. It's funny though, because I know you said like with your parents like you don't really give a fuck or whatever. I give a fuck, but I still do what I want. Like I was the rebellious child. It's like I'm a mom pleaser, but I still did what I wanted, but I was like a rebel with anxiety. That's what I
I
always
mean,
called myself. Like I would do it, but then I'd be like,
I mean,
fuck."
I think we all crave our parents' validation. We all want to be told that they're proud of us. You know, like we come from these people. That is inevitable. I think with my parents, I think my mom. One thing she would do to me was like I would tell her something, and then like maybe she'd be telling the story and be like, "Well, supposedly da 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 da," and I'd be like, "Why are you saying supposedly?" She's like, "What? Supposedly?" I'm like, I just fucking said it. It's not supposedly. It's a fact." And it was like almost like
It's
a
like the doubt of like
yeah,
trusting that your
yeah,
word.
yeah. It was like that really bothered me, and so I don't know. It's all you know what now specifically right now in this like week in this in the like I'm recognizing how like when we decide to do the work, you know, they always say like it heals 7 generations behind you and 7 generations ahead of you. And I believe that. And I just see not the stark difference between like your mom or my mom or whatever, but I see this like how the shifts happen. And because I've only known my grandmother, we can only go so far up the family tree. I can see, you know, how certain experiences and certain things like, you know, register with each child. And it's so interesting to me how we're, you know, how we interpret them and translate them and hold on to them and like they play out in our adulthood. And it's a big deal. And I know like all the fucking woo woo healer light work shit is always like heal the inner child, do the shadow work. But that inner child shit is so motherfucking real. And it's so I think right now it's like it's just very clear if you are not in communication with that version of you. And when I say communication, like even just taking the moment to sit back and, you know, go through the files of childhood and to observe and sit with and you know, just observe how they've affected you, like you're gonna miss a lot of shit. And even like this week, and it's so interesting that we're having this conversation because this week specifically, you know, Orlando started a new job and me and him had like two separate disagreements. And I can't even really fucking think of what it is at this very moment. It was like how I was talking to him, and for him it was something like some trust thing that came up for me. And it was like back to back on 2 different days. But in resolving it, there was a point where I was crying so hard, and I was like, this is not about this. This is about some shit my dad did. This is different than whatever like, this is not that. And same, he had some issues with me about how I was talking to him, and I was just like, I didn't feel like it was that crazy. And he was like, you and he started like talking to me and saying like my mom talked to me and like said these things to me, and I didn't deserve it. And I could see like this was stemming from something else, you know. And I realized that, you know, being in a healthy relationship, and when I say healthy, I just mean two adults that are choosing to be aware and compassionate and empathetic and like and when you're in a healthy relationship, you recognize that every relationship that we have in adulthood is going to trigger you because that is the point. When you feel safe with someone, when you have close relationships with someone, even in friendship, people are going to trigger you because there's a lesson there that you're supposed to, or a wound that you're supposed to heal. But you have to be able to look at it and you have to be able to follow the string all the way back to the root of the wound. And if you're unable to do that, if you're unable to sit in the discomfort of that, then you're never going to get to it. And like being in this relationship that's healthy, that's safe, not to say we don't argue, obviously we do, we're human, but to be able to be clear enough to be like, oh, in this moment, I was not being empathetic to his experience or to your experience, your childhood experience, knowing that you had an abusive mom, knowing that you had a neglectful mom, knowing that you had a highly critical mom, or whatever the thing is, like, in close relationships, you have to go in when you love someone, even understanding that lens and also understanding that about yourself. And like the thing we got into it about was trust. And I realized, like, I don't trust men because I don't really trust my dad. And he's always been in my life. My parents have been married my whole life, but my dad has always been like a chronic cheater. And would ask me to lie about it. And like since I was a kid, this is the conversation that I heard. But my mom is very extremely insecure and extremely violent about it instead of just leaving. But it came up with me in Orlando and I was just completely totally offended and like thinking the worst. And he's like, "Well, why don't you trust me?" And it was just like a back and forth. But I realized, like, in close relationships, a part of our responsibility is to soothe. "I'm sorry, this is not what I meant by that." Like, we're going to ask our partners or our friends to, in ways, soothe wounds that they did not even create. And it's interesting. Like, I was like wondering this week, I'm like, what the fuck is in the stars that this is like all of these childhood things are erupting? But I just realized that like a lot of the things that we find take issue with in adulthood are generally things that started deeply a long time ago, and that now we have the time and the space and the tools, hopefully, to address them. But if we're not thinking that way, then it's very hard to do that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And it's like I have this unique opportunity because I have a relationship with my mom because I do think like when you're healing your inner child, like wouldn't it be great if you could hear your inner child alongside your parent who was there for your childhood? And obviously that's not like the circumstances for a lot of people. Like you have to do the work alone. And even if you have a parent, like you're probably still have to do a lot of the work alone because your parent is probably not going to acknowledge certain things that happen because that wasn't their experience of the situation. And I had that come up for me actually at the retreat when we were in workshop, and we asked the question like, what about you feels hardest to love? And I said my sensitivity. And she said, yeah, you were really sensitive as a kid. Super sensitive. I didn't understand like why you would get upset about certain things. And it felt dismissive again. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm here telling you what it, but again, I'm like, okay, well, like, that's her experience. Her experience is she didn't understand at age, whatever, 30 years old, why her 7-year-old was offended or like why my feelings were hurt because she's dealing with trying to fucking pay the rent, trying to get this done, trying to da da da. And you're crying about what? Like, I don't got time for that. But for me, it was like the end of the world, and for me, it was like deep, and it probably still is in my body now. But it's like you kind of have to just accept certain things that like your parents are, they're not going to relate to certain experiences that you've had as a child. They're not like like I realized my mom has a hard time with affection, which I didn't even realize until the retreat. Because when I was young, I think I got a lot of affection from her, but then at some point in my teenage years, when I started rebelling against her and I didn't want anything to do with her, especially touch me, we never reverted back. We never got back to that. And I was thinking like how many people have that shared experience. Like there's this break in your relationship with your parent, usually around your teens, and then you never recover from that. You never go back to the loving like mother-daughter, father-daughter, whatever dynamic, because how?
Well, then you chop it up to like pubescence and puberty, and like that's weird, and and like on the mom shit too. It's like your mom probably had to develop pretty thick skin pretty young. So she's thinking about Tawny and how she probably talked to her, and then thinking when you're like 13 or 30, you're acting soft. She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like there's no association to it because she's probably built that skin up really young as a form of defense. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so it's hard for her to see that in you, and hard to connect to that part because she's in ways protected herself from words. And so she's like, why are you being so sensitive? You know what I mean? And so like, yeah, it's fucked up, but a part of like this work is like it's your job to revert that and be like, it's okay to have feelings. It's okay, mom, to feel, it's okay to touch. And it feels heavy because it's like, why the fuck is this my responsibility as the child? But this is a part of the reason we choose our parents, and like they, and like we, like the universe chooses each other because there are lessons for each other that we're here to learn. And like I remember being in high school and like fucking not wanting my mom to touch me. Like I don't even want to slide past you in the hallway. And like that's crazy. But now, even as us in a good place, like it does feel difficult for me to feel like super affectionate, and I feel ashamed to say that, like it didn't like I didn't make an effort to ever go back to that place after I wrote it off in high school. And now I'm having to be an adult and accept that she's human and that she is capable of change, even if it is at 58 or 59 years old. And I have to also commit to changing the way I see her and the way I interact with her, just for the like love, like there's times I've slept over her house. She's like, sleep in the bed with me. And I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel comfortable for me. And that's like, I think now as a mom, it hurts to admit that, because I would hate, I don't care how old Luna is, for her to, to even to 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 reject me in that way. And it is important that we have this conversation now, right before this teenage time that we're about to get into with them as they are approaching 11, that I'm really conscious of like keeping the affection up even through those changes. Because you're right, like we don't discuss the water under the bridge of parental relationships, because in like romantic relationships, when there's too much water under the
You
bridge,
break up.
you break up. I'm over it.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
But in mom, you can't break up.
I mean, you can. People do it, but usually it's, if it's not severe enough, you're not usually not going to do that. And like, in my case, it's never been like that. I mean, my mom have had a good relationship, but is it the closest? Has it always been the closest? No, I think over the last few years we've gotten really close. I definitely feel like the roles shifting, and I think it's age, because I feel like I've talked to other women and not even women, men too, around this age, where like there's this shift. Like your parents are realizing, like they're nearing the endish, not end, but the endish of their lives. And you are realizing, oh shit, I'm going to have to take care of you. and also like you're starting to really humanize your parent, because of your own personal life experiences, whether you're being a mother, whatever, workforce, whatever the fuck, like you're starting to realize, oh my God, no wonder she didn't have the capacity for me at that age, because blah, 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 because I'm going through this right now. So, and then me literally being in the caretaker role at a retreat, where I am responsible for helping these women, guiding these women, leading these women, including my mother, and seeing where she's stuck, seeing where like the work never got done or never even started. And you're right, like I do see the healing 7 years. I mean, I can't speak for 7 years behind me. I know it's probably happening, but but like for the future, I see it through my daughter. I see it even with my mom, like her leaning into me more, her accepting me more, her flying across across out of the United States, taking a plane, staying in a hotel a night, traveling into the jungle. Like that's a lot of effort for a woman her age. Like, and that I know that's a big deal, because 3 or 4 years ago, there would have been no fucking way on earth that she would have even been interested to know what the fuck I'm doing over here. So I know that there's healing taking place. I know that there's progress taking place, and it is uncomfortable. I am still processing. It was challenging. I do think that we owe it to our mothers to bring this work to them. I will say too, yes, it is easier to be in the work with strangers, because even in our own personal relationship, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, damn, Mila can sit and fucking talk to these women, but we have an issue, like I feel like she avoids me. but like she don't know this bitch from a grain of salt, and she's gonna let her cry with her and ask her all these questions. But when we have it, but with me and you sometimes, and that goes vice versa. Like there's a resistance when you are close with someone, not all the time, but specific people when it's extremely sensitive, where you avoid, and like I wanted to avoid this trip with my mom. It's like she was coming and I was like, oh my God, like why? No, like, are you sure? Fuck. Like, I know she needs it, but like,
I know I invited you, but
and it's like, why would I be giving this medicine to everyone else except the woman who fucking birthed me? Like, why? Because, and out of fear of judgment, out of fear of it not working, out of fear of it being like, oh, well, it works on everyone else, but it didn't work on you. Fuck. Like, is it real? Is it real? Like the judgment of myself. And I think it's like we have to push past those fears, because that's the calling on our lives, or at least mine, and B, because like our fucking future, our descendants deserve this shit. They deserve it. And in this world that's crazy and so strange, like at least we can like know that like our families are straight, like mentally and emotionally and physically, but
I mean,
mostly and spiritually.
spiritually. And I mean, I think obviously it's a calling on our lives because we're here doing it. So like there would be no reason for our purpose to be, like so clear, but for everybody else outside of the people directly related to us, and it's going to require that you do things that are like more and more and more. Like I said, like the work's never done. And it also like, luckily we are people that have the insight to, like, obviously we're human, but like to self analyze and self reflect and say like, what is my avoidance with conflict? What does this mean to me? And like for me, like I grew up in a household where like conflicts were fights, like it was this big blow up, and like I didn't see a lot of healthy arguments. I saw fucking chaos and violence. And so I think maybe as an adult, I avoid it because I'm like, this is going to lead to this, and I don't want this to lead to this huge, violent, explosion, and like having to reprogram and rewire like what conflict means, and like truly, like conflict is like, if you have a conflict and you can talk past it, you're going to always be closer to the person versus assuming that conflict automatically means fucking chaos. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of like adulthood that is based in observing why the fuck do I act this way? Why do I feel this way? Why did I just tell myself this? Why am I so highly critical of this, and that? Why am I judging this person or whatever the fuck it is? A lot of it is like these are decisions and that we've made, or like a filter that has like covered our lens in childhood or in early development that now it's lived with us, but a lot of people aren't committed to questioning the why of why you are. Some people are like, well, that's just how I am. And it's like, is it just how you are, or is there room for you to expand and try harder and do it again and be better? And it's like, it's not easy, but life is a fucking lesson. Like our souls have a contract and some shit is supposed to get done this iteration, and like if you don't do it, we're going to be back in this bitch trying again in a different body, and you might be a male, and maybe you'll be white, maybe you'll have different circumstances.
Please,
But
Shadow.
that's life, So yeah, this is I'm
I think
grateful that I'm grateful that this is the work that we're in, because even if it's woo woo or whatever, we're always at least trying to dig a little deeper, go a little further, try a little harder.
I mean, and I can't help it because I'm such a like, whenever, well, as I'm going through this work with my mother, I'm thinking, oh my God, like we need to do a mom and mom retreat. Like we need to do a mom and mom retreat, and my
Mom and
mom needs
mom.
to come back. We talked about doing a mom and daughter retreat, like a kid retreat, which like, we got a lot of people interested in. and I'm excited to do something like that. But I'm also like, that other aspect of like my mom coming on this retreat made me realize, like, if your mom is still here on this earth and is willing to come into a space like that with you, why the fuck not? You know? And like talking about generational healing, like that shit, like I already know whatever we did in there out in the jungle, like it's still, the healing is still working right now in this very moment, you know? Like that is so powerful. Like being able to sit in your mother's arms like a baby, or vice versa, you know, and being able to care for one another in that way where it's just about you, there's no distractions. Like I have to do some healing with my mom first before I can probably facilitate something like that.
I mean, you already,
But
but you did. I mean, but you did it.
I'm
Like you,
I'm doing it,
yeah,
but I'm still working through the discomfort. You know, like I'm not on the other side. I don't know. Like I don't want to say I'm not on the other side of it. I'm not on the other side of it, and I know that there's maybe no perfect other side of it. But I do feel like there's a level of like initiation in that space that I need to go walk a little bit through before facilitating experience like that. But I realize how important it is and how like necessary it the fuck is. Okay.
I mean that the mom wounds, the parental wounds in general are deep seated, and you're right. Like if we are here in life, while you can do it out loud, why not? And it's not to say that everyone's going to, it's going to be easier. Your mom's going to just take it. And it's going to be like that. I got into it with my mom the other day because she was like telling me she worked my whole life, and I was like, "You did it. You stopped working when I was 9." And she's like, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." I was like, "No, you did." And she's like, "No, I didn't. I worked your whole life." And I was like, "Mom, why would I have this very specific number? 9. Like I know exactly when you stopped working." And then she was just getting like nasty a little bit with me, and I was just like, "Never mind, girl. I'm not about to keep going arguing back and forth." But what I noticed in that moment, it was like she was me saying she stopped working at 9, which was a fucking fact, was me saying you didn't do shit.
That's what then her in her mind.
That's what she was hearing. And a couple hours later she called me and she was like, "I talked to your dad. You're right. I did stop working when you were around in the 4th grade, but I was taking you to doctor's appointments." I was like, "Yeah, of course."
Well, because she was still working. She was raising you, which is a whole other job. I mean, I know that's not what she was thinking when you said that, but I probably in her mind, in her body, she didn't get a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She might have not physically checked into the job, but in her muscle memory, bitch, I was working. The fuck?
And it was just like a really clear indication of like what I'm saying versus what you're hearing.
Right.
And also, like, I wasn't about to argue and go back and forth, and I was kind of getting frustrated. And then I was just like, never mind. Like, why am I arguing about this? And then she called me back later and agreed with what I was saying. And I was just like, it's very interesting. Like, I know as a mom, we are sensitive beings because we do so much for our children, and we sacrifice and we pour into. And like, a lot of times it feels like a thankless job. And I get that. And so I just like, I obviously need to like affirm her more. But like, even the fact that she called me back and was like, "Actually, you're right. Yeah, I know. Thanks." But it's interesting that, like we have to kind of learn the language of our parents. And like a lot of it is they want to be thanked and recognized for feeding you and keeping you alive for your whole life, which I get.
And we want to be recognized, and we want our parents to be proud of us, so it's kind of the same shit. I'm trying to bring this backwood back to life, okay? Because, bitch, if you saw the backwood cemetery that's happening before my fucking eyes here, bitch, these dry backwoods that I have. So I'm literally putting this whole cigar in water, hoping to reignite the moisture so that I don't rip this open and it just falls to pieces, because what in the backwood is going on here?
I have this grape backwood from Costa Rica, and you know what? I said one episode that I was going to try it without
your nipples out, babe.
Oh no. I'm going to GP, you know what to do.
Oh my god, I think I fixed it. Wait.
Let me yeah.
Oh my god, wait, I think I need some more water.
You
I
rehydrated
I
it.
rehydrated the backwood. See, I'm a backwood fucking
CPR.
doctor.
You CPR'd it.
I CPR'd this bitch.
I have a grape one, and I want to try it without putting weed in it, like you did, like a cigar.
Oh yeah, come on, girl.
Oh no.
My mom doesn't know I'm talking about her. She's calling me now.
Were you talking about me on that podcast of
Okay,
yours?
she'll be mortified. Everyone, do not tell her I talked about her on this episode. Don't you dare.
You know what? She'll be so mortified that she won't listen. You know, my mom has still not read our book. And one day she was like,
Neither has my mom.
I was gonna send it to my friend, and then I realized I don't know what she said about me. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, maybe you should read it before you go passing it along to your new friend. I'm like, so interesting.
My mom hasn't read the book.
But like, what does your mom say?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, whatever. You don't have to read the book, but like, it's always like this little thing that's not quite.
No, she's afraid to read the book. My mom told me she's afraid to read the book to see what I wrote about her. Your mom's also afraid. I can only imagine that's the only reason they're not.
No, but it's not. Okay, yes, the book I get. Okay, the podcast I get. Yes. But I think throughout my life, like, there were moments where I wanted her to cheer for me harder. You know, like I needed her to like really
Go harder.
Go there. You know, like really celebrate me in a way that felt and not give me any critiques afterwards. Well, next time, no, shut the fuck up.
Just let it be.
Yeah, and there was always like the critique because she wanted me to be the best, and you know, thankfully, you know, I am because of that. But not without some fucking
anxiety.
Yeah, you know. So wait, I need to go get a napkin.
Okay, this is a great backwood. I'm gonna smoke it just regular, like a cigar, like a big papa.
Okay, so I told Mila that the trick to tasting the flavors of the backwoods is you have to actually smoke it like a real cigar. The grape flavor is. I keep moving my mic. I told Jamila that the trick to smoking a backwood is you have to actually smoke the whole backwood with the shit inside because the flavoring is in the stuffing. We take the stuffing out to put the weed in, like I'm about to do, because I think I've doctored up my backwood.
The way I'm gonna get cursed out for smoking a full cigar in my bed.
Well, I'm smoking in my house too because I'm not going outside. But see, this is what I've waited for. This is what adulthood is about. Like,
do whatever the fuck you want.
I smoke in my house. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Ari, go upstairs. Go close the door.
Okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it'd be.
It's not so bad. And do you taste the grape?
I do. It is more grapey than if I would have put the weed in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at this.
Don't you feel like a sophisticated?
And I got my collared shirt on. I feel like a Cuban mommy.
You're not
Come
supposed
here, puppy.
Don't inhale too much. Just like, you know, it's like like the Cubans do. They just like let it sit in their mouth and they
come here, Poppy. Come here.
Yeah, look. No, it's not even the shirt. It's the head wrap for me, baby.
I've had 4 inches of hair out for 3 days and I'm already over it.
You want to cut it again?
I'm either going to get braids. So I'm going to get braids since we're going to Bali. But yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last, baby.
That's not till November, bitch. Like that.
I'm going to get braids. Or maybe I need to get it. Maybe I need to get my hair done. I need someone to do it for me. I'm not like well versed on more than 3 inches of hair yet. I haven't had hair since like I was pregnant with Luna.
I was gonna take these braids. I think I put my weave back in. I think it's fall is for weaves.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I have some clip-ins. Remember that time I had clip-ins? That time I burnt my hair out with perm.
Yeah.
I still have them.
I remember.
Oh my God. I don't know if you guys remember. I told this story. It was like 3 years ago. I was doing my own hair all the time for like a decade and I thought I was a professional and I left the perm in while I was cleaning my room because I just did it so many times. I just knew I knew what I was doing. And baby, I had a cute little hairstyle and about 3 days later I moved the bang, baby, and all of this was gone. Okay, gone. And bless Orlando's heart, because that was right around the time we went out of town together for 30 days. And I had to, like, no braids could go right here because it was too short. And he still loved me, but that shit was bald for like at least 2 months. So now
Yeah.
I go to the hairdresser.
I'm so happy that you finally started going to the hairdresser, because for a good part of our first 4 years of friendship, you were like, I do my own hair. I cut my own hair. I do my own hair.
I did it all. I
I
did
was
it
like,
all.
go get your hair done.
You couldn't tell me I wasn't a professional hairstylist. Why was I
you were-
cutting my own hair?
I mean, you were doing okay, but like, you know, it looks better now that you actually went and got it professionally done. You know, it's like there was a little helmet action sometimes, looking a little helmety at times.
Hey. You're gonna you're gonna be easy on my hairstyles,
The
okay?
helmet days are over because you stopped going to Supercuts. No, I'm just kidding.
I did go to Supercuts a couple times.
I know you did.
I was like, just cut it. I can do the rest.
I know you did. I was like, bitch, if you go to Fantastic Sam's one more fucking time.
Having short hair is a commitment. You have to either keep it cut, you have to keep it done. Like, there's no ponytails. If I could have a ponytail, I'd be fine. It's just, it doesn't exist.
Okay, now I'm slight.
I'm not mad at this at all, actually.
I told you. See,
I'm kind of
look, now
surprised.
you're going for it. I see you over there. You keep smoking it.
Okay, backwoods. I want to go to the Dominican Republic and go on a backwoods tour. Okay, backwoods. Hello, it's me, Mila Map. If you hear this, I'm trying to get to the DR and go to the farm and see what's going on there. I've never been to a tobacco farm, so send the invite.
Ignore that. Ignore her. She's fine. She's going upstairs. Go. So this backwoods, what am I smoking? Because it was a backwoods cemetery. I don't even know which one it came from at this point. I think
It looked like
this is-
aromatic or something.
Yeah, this is the LA aromatic, which is my favorite backwood, actually. This one.
You know, I think that we need to spend more time. Do we need to have like a cigar bar meetup? I feel like that would be sexy. Also, if anybody's listening and they're single, the cigar bars is where those older, more distinguished sugar daddies are at. The one time I went to a cigar bar with Ashley in LA, the old niggas were on me. I mean, that's just my MO in general. Older niggas love me, but ladies, the cigar bar is where it's at. If you like a little salt and pepper silver fox, and they usually have jobs.
Anyway, now that I've smoked, I've cried, I'm smoking. What a day!
You came at my helmet hair from 2015. What else? What else is on the agenda?
I was on the internet, perusing through the podcasting scope, and I happened to fall upon this clip. It's with a podcast with Paul Pierce and Azar. Shout out to Azar. She's been at Good Media before. Why is this not staying lit? I actually know Azar's sister, and they're so different. Actually, they're not that different. They're kind of the same. They look different. But the clip,
I fucking hate Paul Pierce. I don't hate him because I don't know him personally, but the 5 clips that I've seen and his opinions are never hitting.
so let's just play the clip. Let's play the clip so people can know what we're talking about. Did you watch the clip?
I'm about to revisit it right the fuck now.
Yeah, go ahead and rewatch it.
Wait, where'd it go? Instagram. Okay, here it is.
All you men who stand up, men who go out there and put your elbow into making a woman make sure she's straight and hard working and respectable, chest up, chin out men, and you really on the grind and you really got ambition, Leave these little pretty girls alone, bro. They don't put their elbow in it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Over there looking at, oh, she bad. Oh, look at her Instagram. Oh, she a 9, she a 10. No, I'll get you a 5 or a 6. Who gonna put some elbow into it. Ain't gonna be down for you on some 100. You know what I'm saying? They gonna look at you like, why you with her? Don't worry about why I'm with her. Because she gonna do everything you ain't doing. 100%. That's the way we should be on, fellas. Like, man, forget all that how you look with your arm around her. Nah, she ain't got no substance to her.
Now she ain't got no substance because she's pretty.
Stand up, man. Go out there and put your elbow.
So basically, he's alluding to the fact that pretty girls don't think they have to work hard in a relationship.
What pretty girl hurt you, Paul? What?
Oh, you know what?
pretty
That's
bitch hurt
that's
your
my next
feelings?
Google. Paul Pierce's ex-wife, because I'm sure she's a baddie and she probably took a lot of his money, as she should have. You know, first of all, this is disrespectful to all women, and I think what he's
Julie
really
Landrum. They divorced in 2023. This man only been single 4 seconds.
Let me go look up Julie.
Julie's cute.
Of course she is. That's why he feels that way. Now he has
Julie looked like she wasn't even outside like that. Okay, she probably a lawyer or some shit. Look at Julie.
Oh yeah, she is cute. She looks too smart to be with the fuckery is what the problem is. They don't want smart bitches. They don't want bitches who have a clue, because as soon as I have a clue, I'm going to know you're on some bullshit and you're going to have to be accountable. And that would just be too motherfucking hard. And I think that's really what he's saying. And, you know, I honestly...
He's been married for 13 years. This man got divorced in 2023. Granted, I don't know when they broke up. Maybe they broke up in the 2020s. I don't know. But obviously, you probably went on your hoe phase, okay? Let's just be honest, Paul. You broke up with Julie, got a divorce. What?
On another clip, when you said that, just reminded me. On another clip that I saw, this is the one that pissed me off. He said that his homeboy said that his side bitch is the one who told him to stay with his wife. He said his side bitch is the one who kept him married for 10 years because the side bitch was rooting for the wife. And I'm like, so basically that it's good to have a side bitch because he comes home happy.
How about fellas, don't take any advice from this man. That should tell you enough, okay? Like, what are you talking about? First of all, you got divorced, probably started dating a bunch of girls that probably aren't very smart. Because by design, I think a lot of men prefer women that are not very smart, because then they can control them and they just get what they want. So it's like what men always say to women, like, it's who you chose. You chose them. You chose them. Nigga, you chose her. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of
niggas love to tell us we chose our baby daddy. We chose
them.
And then, but you choose women and then cheat on them. So what in the man is that?
Just like a 5, a nigga will break your heart. A 5 bitch will still break your heart, nigga. I can't wait for you to find out. Go ahead. Go get you a 5 or a 6. Go ahead, baby.
He's basically saying that in his opinion, whoever he thinks, which beauty is relative, whoever he thinks is a 5 or 6 is going to be so happy to have his ass that they are going to just polish shoes, cook dinner, wipe ass. I don't know what. You know what I really want to know? This is a public question. I want to know, in today's society, what is it that men like outside of submitting, because that's a very general thing. What do men think that women like? What does he want us to put elbow? Like, how do we put elbow grease? Like, what does that mean to him? Like, suck extra dick, like fold all the clothes, like, is it the domestic role, like not going out?
Grease sounds like hard labor.
Yeah, like, so that's what I want to know. Like, do they expect us to, like, is it like the domestic thing? They don't think like these new modern women are domestic. We don't cook, we don't clean, we're not taking care of the children. We just want to be in the streets. Like, I'm really wondering what this means, because there's so many like gender wars, and I'm really so fucking sick of hearing about this shit. Like, we need each other, we love each other, we be fucking on each other. I feel like men like this, or men who have this mentality, we're gonna get replaced with AI.
But also, like, we're putting our value on how you, Paul, are all still putting value on how a woman looks. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no like, what is a 5 or a 6? A 5 or 6 in looks, a 5 or 6 in her career, a 5 or 6. What scope of 5 or 6? We're just talking about pretty bitches. I guess he did say pretty bitches. So we think that if we get a less attractive person, she's going to be smarter because pretty people are not intelligent people.
No, not smarter. He said they're going to put elbow grease. He
That's
didn't say
true.
they don't want smart women. That is the problem. Men
Yeah.
don't want partners. If you pick a partner, when you pick a business partner, you want someone
Let's
smart.
let's not generalize men. We said we're not going to
I
generalize
said
men.
men
So
with
let's
this
not.
men with this mentality.
This mentality, yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Men with this mentality prefer women who are not thinking because then they can get away with doing whatever the fuck they want. Men who with this mentality that are on the social media fucking going hard about the submission, and even that one very cringy clip about that guy on that God podcast saying he prefers to date younger women because older women don't listen. Baby, you want someone with less experience that you can get over on. And
Yeah.
to me, that is questionable. Like, why would one pick a partner? It's like if we're playing fucking volleyball and I get to pick my team and I pick the fucking dumbest ones, or if I'm in the science bowl and I'm going to pick my team for the fucking end of the year project, I'm going to pick the dumb, like the people who don't study, who don't show up to class. That doesn't make any sense. If you want to build a strong family, aka a team, you're going to pick the strongest players, the smartest players with the most strategy, with the most power forward. I don't know. I'm just trying to speak in your language. I don't really know this language, but I'm trying here. You're going to pick the D1 picks at the top schools, right? The best athletic abilities. If you're going to go to the checker fucking tournament, you're going to pick the best strategy, the best checker players. Why in the fuck do men go on these podcasts? A lot of men, not all of them, and then rally behind wanting women that are just submissive or are basically not smart. You're asking for women to not have an opinion and to not say shit and to follow you blindly because you don't value our input. And so you would prefer to be with women who don't ask any questions. But if nobody's asking questions, you don't want someone to question you. And like, you don't want a strong family. You want a weak ass bitch because you don't want to be questioned. And any good democracy, any strong kingdom is going to have a board to collectively discuss the issues at hand, because every king, every kingdom needs, what is the right hand man in fucking King of Thrones, or
I don't know, the squire.
the nigga, you know, the right hand
I
man.
know, the right hand man. That guy.
Or the queen or the council. This is just a relative thing to say, hey, I am the king and I am the queen, but I need input from the smartest motherfuckers up in this village. What's up? So I'm going to pick the smartest partner. If men don't want if you want a strong family, a strong lineage with the best players, you're going to pick the best leads. And if you keep saying publicly, I'm going to assume you want a weak ass family.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
It's just like, I think there's a level. I think most men say they believe that they're kings, but most men don't even know what they would define a king to be. So it's just something that people embody through the alpha male, or they think they're embodying through this title of being an alpha male,
which is
which is
associated so much with toxic
whatever
masculinity.
other fucking words around masculinity that we've made up. You know, it's just, do you want the kingdom? Do you even believe that you come from the kingdom? Do you even understand, like, no. The answer is no. For most of these men, unfortunately.
And
For a lot of these men.
It's true, because when you talk about leading and you talk about submission and you talk about these things, like, what is your plan for your family? What is it that you want? Because
And I know, because they're rarely worried about what we bring to the table. Very much worried about what's happening over here in our kitchen.
Meanwhile, their version of kingdom is dropping a bunch of sperm off into different bitches without having to commit to any of them, and setting that example for the princes and the princesses of the kingdom. So what does that say? And like, this brings me to our other clip that I saw this week on the fucking internet, which was, I thought it was interesting because it was on Breakfast Club, and they asked Sierra, how does she feel about people on social media calling Russell Wilson a simp or a lame or corny. And she was like, I don't think shit of it because who's saying it? And it's true. I don't think people realize what a loser you have to be to criticize a man taking care of his
Care of his
family
family.
and being a great dad.
He's a simp?
You don't want another nigga showing other niggas the example of what a good father and husband look like, because you want the bar to be in hell still, because that's where you thrive. And so you don't even know what the fuck it means to lead and to be a king and to have a lineage that is strong, because you're over here criticizing the men that's doing it.
No. I loved her answer. I love Sierra. I'm like, I've always liked Sierra, but I think I'm in a season of loving Sierra. I just think that she has like, she's like, first of all, she is stuck around. Okay. You say what you want about Sierra. That bitch got hits. Okay. And she just leads with so much integrity.
Yeah,
And
she's you know what? She does the Michelle Obama thing. She doesn't go low, she goes high. She's just class. Yeah.
And it feels very genuine, you know. And it's like, I think that's why she's had the career that she's had. Like, whether or not she had the hit or not, or didn't have the hit, like, she's always been able to be invited. You know, she's always been there. And I think has been so vulnerable about her journey. You know, she's made bad mistake. Sierra and fucking Future. Like,
Well,
I don't like that. Who is that Sierra? But
well,
you know, like, that's the other side of her. You know?
but she's from Atlanta. You know, she's from Atlanta. But I think that's also important to look at. Like, we niggas praise Future, fucking Nevaeus or whatever the fuck his name is. They love Natavius. They follow him blindly. Everything, sip the syrup, drop off.
Especially if you live in Atlanta, Jesus.
He has like 9 kids by 9 different women, and like, I'm not Jesus. I'm not here to judge. But the point is, you fucking rally behind that shit, sipping syrup, nodding off, and having a bunch of kids by different women. But then you see a man who comes and takes care of his children, is present in their children's life, takes care of his wife, and is taking care of the child of somebody else. And that's who you criticize. That is something we have to collectively look at as a society, because that's wild. Obviously, the men have gotten, not all men, but a lot of the men, and unfortunately a lot of the young men have gotten this PS that, like, got this memo that hating women and like leading a strong household is in some ways negative, and that's wild as hell.
It's corny.
That's fucking corny.
That's crazy.
It's so corny. But it also, it's like, when I think about the gender wars and all these things, you know, like, Orlando's very proud to be a husband. Like, he's like, I've always wanted to be a husband. This is really important to me. He's like, my goal is to like have, like, watch my grandkids play. I don't think I've never heard a nigga ever say no shit like that. Like, I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? And I think because we don't see a lot of examples of men saying those type of things publicly, like, I've really, like, Orlando is a whore from Whore Island. Of course he's been, you know, in the streets, but he's also been very clear about wanting to be a husband and wanting to be a father. And like, when he came into our lives in a very uncomfortable way, he was like, I'm my daughter, like, I'm taking this role on very seriously as a stepfather, and as, like, I know that we're growing into something. And that made me be like, oh shit. First of all, I was like, this nigga's a little crazy. And also maybe be like, okay, well, what does that mean to me? But so often we don't hear men have pride in these roles that it doesn't trigger us to have to think about what it means to be a wife. And I'm just saying that, and this is as someone who I did want to be married. I did, as a little girl, I wanted to be married, and I had this idea, but I very rarely heard men say that. And so it's taken me until I'm actually like coming into this place to be like, shit, what does it mean to be a good wife? Like, what, like, how do I pour back into this person that values me and values our relationship so much, and that I mirror it? And to be honest, it's kind of like intimidating sometimes, because I'm like, fuck, I didn't study, I didn't read the book, because I was banking on niggas nigging, because that's what I've seen. Even the example of the man in my own household who I love and adored and has always been a present father. My dad's always been in my life, always lived in my household. But did he do some fuck shit? Of course. And did that breed trust issues? Obviously. And my dad is someone who values marriage and being a father, but his actions didn't always look that way. So it didn't, like, I'm not one of those people who's like, when I heard Cam Newton's baby mama go on Shan Boodram's show and say how much she like how spoiled her man is, it made me cringe. And then you're like, I don't think so. And I was like, damn, am I a bitch? Why does that make me cringe? And I realized I feel a lot of resentment towards men because they don't show up in a way that has cared for us, and especially black men to black women. And I'm probably looking at the comments too often and seeing all the losers comment. I have to also know that. But I'm realizing like hearing men say positive things about marriage, about their women, about their families is really important for the leading, for us to assume our position. And I'm realizing that now. Like, I'm thankful for men like Russell. I'm thankful for men like Orlando, so that I know like, oh, it's okay to take pride in this role when you're being taken care of. And this is what it looks like. And so I just, shout out to Russell for being the best stepdaddy on the internet and making these niggas step up their game instead of thinking that taking care of somebody else's kids is lame and whack.
Yeah. No, I think men feel very intimidated by it's like a mirror. When you see a man, and Russell's so unbothered too. Like he's so unbothered. He's just wearing his sunglasses, with his little fine self. And
So
Sierra and him
fine.
are living their fucking life. And I understand why they're mad. They're mad, and you do have to be careful who the messenger is important. That's why she said, like, who said it? Who's saying it?
What household did they grow up in? What
You know?
what example of love have they received? And so like if you haven't had a loving household or a loving father, of course you're going to reject the idea of what that looks like and think
That
it's some
makes a lot of
cornball shit
sense.
because you're following fucking Natavius and the trap boy on the corner, or some rapper nigga that it's also been neglected and is craving love and is wounded. So it's just wounded leaders and wounded soldiers all fucking following each other, and that's problematic.
Yeah. You know what else is problematic? Moving on to our last topic because we got to go. But I'm here to say, we need like a donkey of the day on fucking Good Moms?
What we can. What would they be called?
Oh my God. I don't know. The
Bad for real?
Yeah. This is actually bad.
So what will our donkey of the day be called?
This is actually bad.
Okay, bad for real. Okay.
Bad for real.
Bad for real. This is bad for real. No, for real.
Okay, so this is bad, like for real. For real, this is bad. I'm disappointed. I really am. I'm not even gonna front. I kind of thought there was something going on, something a little off when she married the white man. Okay, I was like, but he seemed joyful and jolly. So I was like, and rich as fuck. So I said, okay, all right, maybe he's like the cool white nerd from that you could hang out with at the party, at the kegger. Then
Not the kegger.
Then she started playing with her face, and I was like, what are you doing? What's happening? Is there an identity thing going on? Like, you're beautiful. Or I know this woman also has been highly critiqued. Okay. She is like at the highest level. And this is because this is actually bad. This is not the donkey of the day. I'm just saying this is actually bad. I think that nothing could take away the incredible accomplishments and who she is to Black people, period. I just want to say that, including myself. But unfortunately, Serena Williams is now a spokesperson for a weight loss drug that you inject into your body that's basically like Ozempic. It's called a GLP-1 or some shit, and which sounds like the date rape drug, just FYI to me, which is why it probably is like feels even more gross in my mind. And I just feel like this is so irresponsible as just someone with so much influence and who has like rose to the highest ranks in athleticism, in just like she's like a fucking gladiatress. And I just think that like so many people look up to her, young girls look up to her. Like she has millions of dollars. She can take this medicine and like be monitored and make sure everything's going well. People are going to start injecting themselves with this weight loss thing, which they've already started to do in general. But we've never had a Black woman come out as a spokesperson for this type of weight loss stuff. We've seen Oprah, you know, she did Weight Watch. Was it Weight Watchers? Was Oprah Weight Watchers?
Yeah,
For
I think
years.
I think
Years.
yeah, I forgot about that. Weight
Years.
Watchers was just like a diet,
But that was just
shake.
food.
Yeah,
Yeah, but this is like we're putting things into our body that are not even for us. They're for people with like other health conditions. I mean, they you can repackage it and change up the ingredients here and there, but let's be honest, like this is for something else. And I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in Serena. I'm worried about what this is already doing. And the reason why I'm disappointed too is because then I learned that her husband is on the board of this company that she is advertising for that has gotten her to lose all this weight that she said she was struggling to lose with, of course, after having a baby and still working out like 3 times a day, training, playing in like the US Open, and still not being able to get to the weight that she wanted. But she was never at that weight. That was not her body. We've never seen her at that weight, even in her prime,
yeah.
even in her youngest years. Like she's like thin now.
I have to go look. I saw the I saw her talking about it. I was a little bit surprised too. I
was shocked.
I think it's very, you could be very, very cautious about endorsing medical anything because we all have different bodies and react differently, and we all know that Ozempic is getting hit with a lot of lawsuits, like $1 billion worth of lawsuits because of side effects. And I also, it's again, we have to look at society and like how much pressure we put on women, like for the sake of vanity and like not loving ourselves as is. And I know blah blah blah, I'm 98 pounds, you know, but I want to be thicker, but what I'm not gonna go get ass injected in Colombia because this is the body God gave me. I have a big problem with, recently we discovered that somebody that used to be our friend, who's always,
recently meaning yesterday.
no, it's been about 5 months.
You knew for 5 months?
No. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Recently, no, I knew it for a couple of weeks. I thought I told you. I thought we stopped being friends.
Wait, this is new? Like this is a new thing that just happened?
No, this has been happened.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm sorry.
I just found out that a friend, an old ex friend of ours, who's always working out in the gym and like promoting working out, has a BBL. Okay. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about you getting a BBL. I live in LA. Everybody has fake boobs and fake shit and this little. Okay. I realize that, to each its own. However, when you are promoting health and wellness and talking about you doing squats and you got that ass from squats and I'm over here doing the squats and it's not coming in that way, I'm gonna be confused. So I think that is problematic. And she's being honest about it, but I just, yeah. And I honestly, I feel really sad because I know how criticized she's been. And, you know, just as like a dark skinned, brown skinned Black woman, just how difficult it is to be in the spotlight and to be in Hollywood and to be in these spaces. And like they've always criticized her body, her ass. They try to make it seem like she couldn't wear the tennis skirt everybody else is wearing because, baby, this is a Black woman's body. I mean, not mine specifically, but I'm just saying, like, everybody has a different shape and size and color, and we're all beautiful in our own right. And like for Black women, dark skinned Black women specifically, hair type, lips, all these things that people run out and go get to fucking mimic us, we are criticized for. And this person has been criticized so deeply by her own people.
Her own people. I think it's like I feel like we need to call in a prayer for Serena for real because I feel like so much of this because I'm thinking just about I can't like her blonde hair. I'm like there's a lot of like,
well, but I understand it. I understand.
I have blonde hair too right now.
Right. But
but I just mean like as I'm looking at her, I don't know. I feel this like energy of like, how could you not be insecure? How? Like I would be insecure. Shit, I might have had got a nose job or did a lot of other shit. Well, she did, but like I would probably succumb to the pressure too. You know, what
yeah,
I mean? That's a lot
she's
of
human.
pressure.
And
but, my only thing is though but you don't need to promote this. Just go do it then. We don't need to know that what you did. No one asked, bitch. She lost this weight like 1 year ago. We moved on already. Like,
but okay. What if your nigga had a business and he was like, "Yo, if you've been taking it,
I would know this.
what if
I would understand the weight of the responsibility that I hold, the power that I yield, the repercussions that this medicine could have on someone who's young, who doesn't have like the doctors that are going to make sure that she doesn't have any underlying conditions of any sort. Like, I just don't. And also the fact that, like, as women, we already carry so much shame around the way our body looks and that we must be smaller. Like, why did she need to be smaller? Was she unhealthy? Like, why was it that she needed to go down to this weight? I understand, like, was it just for her own comfortability? Because she'd never been at that weight before. Like, this has been her hopes and dreams to be this
some
weight.
people are not made skinny. It's just
A lot, like,
a
no,
lot of people.
exactly. The reason why she is a superb athlete is because of the strength and body mass that she yields. You know what I mean? Like, our bodies are what they are. And I just feel like this is really bad. This is bad for real, because I'm worried and I'm concerned. There's already so much that our kids are going to see on the internet every day, right? That's going to like beat at them. But like, I feel like she is gold. She's the gold standard in so many ways, so inspirational. And I don't know. I'm worried. I'm concerned.
She must be getting a big kickback from this endorsement.
Bitch,
But
of course she is. Duh. Her husband's on the board. I just told you. And she's Serena. She doesn't take a fucking endorsement deal under fucking $5 million, I'm sure. Maybe more. Like,
yeah.
that's the level of excellence that she's at, and like and demands and people give to her as a Black woman. That's why I'm like, why? You don't even need this. You're rich. Your husband invented Snapchat. Like, what are you talking
Oh, he did?
about?
Oh, wow.
Yes. He's one of the co-founders of Snapchat. You didn't need this check. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Just shut up and take your medicine and get skinny and don't tell us about it. That's all I'm saying.
Like everybody else.
Like everyone else. Like, what the fuck? I'm not telling everyone, like, oh, I got Botox. Now I want to be the face of Botox. Like, I barely want to fucking post my doctor if she's going to give me a discount. Like, shit. Like, can we make it something else? It's me getting a facial. Yes, facial me.
Well, this is the world in which we live in, and welcome to it. I'm struggling every day to exist here, but apparently I'm supposed to be in this time and this time. So
I thought about that. I was like, I wonder why God chose me to be here at this time. With all this shit going on. It's so specific. Like, why didn't I get to skip this one? Like, why not the next one? Or why didn't I end?
You know what it is? Every single soul who's here at this time, there is a reason. We're supposed to fight against the machine. We have what it takes. We're here in this time because there is something that we are supposed to birth that is supposed to shift it. And I want you guys to remember that. What is inside of you that is supposed to be shifting and, pushing this society forward. It's definitely not endorsing GBLK or whatever the fuck. But there's something there, and that's how we know we have the strength and the tenacity, I hope that's the right word, to exist in this time amongst war and crime and hate and self-hate and highly criticized and shallowness and ignorance.
And that's why it's more important than ever that we take care of ourselves, that we lean into
love,
the help, the healing, the love, the connectedness to one another. We need to connect. Like, we've got to connect. We've got to stay connected. They are trying to disconnect us.
Especially with AI.
Truly, with
Souls,
AI, like we have to still go to the functions. We have to call our friends in human and not just fucking text each other. We got to get our kids off this shit because they're the future. They're the ones that are going to have to be able to be soldiers. Like, our children have got to be like peaceful soldiers, right? But like, no pressure, but also, yeah.
I mean, they have to know the reality of what's actually going on, and like, we have to live in the reality, but also, from a loving space, and go to the concerts, do the art, do the things that they're trying to replace us with, and like, you can't replace human connection and genuine creation, and like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was having this thought about AI today because I was so resistant to it for a really long time. And then I've been using it more and more lately. And then I've also been like staying abreast to like how it's the destruction it's causing to our environment, and like real destruction, like bad. And also like how I saw my baby daddy, like of course he like popped up on an article on my phone today, and he was talking about, and I didn't even consider this, like rappers using AI to write their raps, and how like the art of rapping is like going to be a dying art form because there's these AI rappers coming through.
Shut
And
up. AI raps?
yes, bitch. I mean, it makes sense.
I mean,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
I just didn't consider it.
me neither. But I'm also thinking like how numb our brains are going to go because we're not doing any critical thinking. We have a thought and that's about it. We have a thought and then we put the thought in ChatGPT and then it expands the consciousness until we do not have consciousness, until we're fucking just dumb bodies roaming around the earth like fucking robots. And
There's going to be a
that's
hybrid. It's good.
crazy.
It's creating a human AI hybrid.
For real. And then they're going to, and that's why I feel like the aliens are waiting to see how stupid we are. Are we going to like be able to go into like these other higher intelligence? Are we going to get invited to the higher intelligence party? Or are we
Fuck
going to
no.
get kicked out and burned down and start all over again and do this shit
Bitch.
over and over and over?
If I was the aliens, I wouldn't let us in.
They're laughing at us.
I would laugh at us too. I'm laughing at us, and I'm in this bitch. It's like these niggas are dumb. Trump the other day said he's changing stuff in the museums at the Smithsonian.
The Smithsonian.
Wait, but wait, you know why?
It's too racist.
No,
Yes, too
he
racist.
said
talking about slavery. Too
no,
much.
he said because America is the hottest country, and he won't let them. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. America's the hottest country. And why would we talk like this? Like, we need to be more positive because America's the hottest country, the hottest. So, if you haven't heard America's the hottest country, bitches, get with the program.
America's
so much focus on
for
slavery. Sure. So much focus on slavery. Like, come on, we're the hottest country. Stop.
We got to remarket America. We got to remarket. We're going to make it great again, and we're going to remarket this bitch.
We're going to erase
slavery.
Delete it. It doesn't look good on our reputation. Yeah, people are dumb.
It's sealed.
It's sealed.
Imagine slavery being sealed.
I mean, if he can do it, he's going to do it.
Those high thoughts.
They're gonna
slavery being sealed. Like it's a sealed document, and no one knows. Does it need to be a movie?
They're burning books.
Don't even know it ever existed.
Oh my god, that's a good movie. And it's
you know what I'm saying? Where black people don't even know it existed, but they know their bodies are telling, like reacting to things.
Something.
Weird. Like, why does my body? I mean, off?
Somewhere in the world, black people. There's a black person who doesn't really know about it. There's black people our age right now who don't.
Wait, did you watch the Amanda Seals?
Bitch,
the Amanda Seals
in small doses because I was getting pissed the fuck off, and that's what I mean. There are black people that exist right now that do not understand the severity of American history, the African American history, and that's what they're trying to promote, so that we think that black people won't shut the fuck up about it, and it wasn't that bad, and it advanced us, and everyone had slavery just like it everywhere. Cattle slavery, no biggie. Everybody relax, keep calm. It's the hottest country. We're fucked. Sorry, never mind. I'm being positive. Positivity. At this point, you might as well just like rock out with your balls out and go hard on the pleasure, and like don't kill yourself, but just like have fun, bitches, because America's the hottest country, and slavery's files are getting sealed soon. So, get out.
I just want to leave you with this one piece of advice, guys. If you don't stop buying land in America, stop trying to buy and own here. Just start thinking big, bitch. You got to think big, bitch.
You know what? I think the aliens.
And you're not even going to be thinking big. You're going to like actually probably spend less money. Get virtual, do what you got to do, whatever. OnlyFans, TikTok, just figure it out. Figure out how you can get the fuck out of here.
You know what? I just, I hadn't thought about this from an economical standpoint before, but now with the recession on the rise and America being the hottest country, OnlyFans, I mean, like, if you're successful, like, the sex industry might be the only thing that's not going to be fucked when everything else goes down.
Oh
I mean,
no, they're gonna fuck that too. They're gonna
okay.
fuck
Oh,
that
you're right,
too.
because there's AI porn
Eventually.
now. There's AI porn and only.
Eventually they're gonna fuck that too. Like no, they're gonna like governonize. I'm high as hell.
Governize.
The government is gonna control OnlyFans. Mark my words, okay? You see that Trump announced that now the government owns 10% of Intel. You know, like Intel,
QuickBooks?
the computer processor.
Why?
Computer processor.
Who does? The government?
The government, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but Trump negotiated the deal, baby, because he's the hot marketer and negotiator. And I'm pretty sure that means like there's going to be control over a lot more of what we're doing with our money, what we're doing with our habits. Like eventually the government will own Apple. Like if you can do that, then you can own 10% of Apple. Then you can own 10% of, you know what I mean? Like there's
We have
no privacy anymore.
there's no difference.
Privacy is dead. It's even like why even put a privacy clause on an app at this point? Like you
Right,
signed your life away. When I saw that shit about global entry, that you could get
TSA.
global entry or TSA global entry, then you basically signed away your rights. Like they can stalk you. They have all your information. They're tracking you now. Me. I am her.
Us.
Yeah, we are us. The only good thing going for us is that we do have property outside of the country. Now it's just time to build on it, bitch.
I'm thinking we'll have a better chance that the aliens take us if we're not even on American soil. They may consider it. I also heard recently that
I feel like Costa Rica's last on the list. Costa Rica, maybe Africa, like Africa has like this protective orb around it.
Newsflash: the aliens are black.
Okay.
Yeah, just want everybody to know. It's true.
Okay, I mean, what's your theory there?
My theory is that Africa is the oldest civilization, the oldest the oldest first people were black. And if you think about us not knowing, first of all, they shrunk Africa on the map to confuse everybody. Second of all, they still don't know how the fucking pyramids got there. Indigenous and black people came from a different starseed. And everything else,
I feel like it's both.
rest.
I feel like there's black people from Earth and from. I feel like it was a collaboration.
Yeah, it was a collaboration, but because
then why would we grow from? Why are we connected to Mother Nature? There has to be a connection between us.
We're a
and this
hybrid
soil
of this extraterrestrial and whatever else was here on. We're a hybrid to this atmosphere. Yes, I mean I also heard that there is an ancient civilization of extraterrestrial that look like white Jesus. So there's probably a couple looks in the galaxies, but we're the oldest and we dominate most of the galaxies internationally, intergalactically. And I just want you guys to know, when they come to get us, white people, how you've been acting, it may not fly in the other galaxy. Okay, Trump. Racism does not exist outside of this galaxy.
Leave him behind. Leave him behind, please, and all his minions.
I think I'm gonna go watch that movie Look Up again.
No, oh my god, that movie stressed me out. Now I want to go watch Ancient Aliens.
Wait, what's the other one where they have like a party because it's the last days and Channing Tatum's in it? Maybe I watched This Is It. That's a little bit funnier.
That one's a little funny. Look Up was
it was too real. It was like a satire, but it was true with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope this didn't give you more anxiety. I hope listening to Good Moms this Wednesday, brought you down. I hope that you say hi to your mom and that you love her and that everybody in your life that maybe you have resistance to. I hope this episode reminds you to just soften. We're all human. We're all going through shit. We all are having experiences, and we're here to be connected in real life, not to get further from each other, to be closer to each other and closer to ourselves. So if there is space to grow and expand, I invite you to do that and lean in. We love you. Do we have an affirmation?
The aliens are coming. Rock out with your balls out.
I like that one. I really support that one 100%. The aliens are coming. Rock out with your balls out. Yep.
Yeah.
Do we need to pull a card?
I have one. Or do you have them in front of you or no?
They're in the living room, but
I have some right here.
okay.
While
Hopefully,
we do that for tarot time, let's just take a deep breath. Take a deep cleansing breath. Let's reset the energy.
So glad to be here in this lifetime, breathing with my health, with my family. I'm so grateful. We have so much to be grateful for, and let's remember that every day.
Ashe. One fell out of the deck.
What is it?
It's a 5 of Cups.
Let me look it up, baby.
Oh, 6 of Cups. Wow. One day I'm going to get my Roman numerals together.
It's a like a numerology of the past. Like, is it vintage?
I mean, it makes sense. You know what? I get confused with the 4 and the 6.
The V.
Because the 4 is the V before.
The 4 and after,
and
yeah.
the 5. Yeah.
Okay, 6 of Cups tarot card meanings. Revisiting the past, childhood memories, innocence, joy. What the
It fell out of the deck. It fell out of the deck, y'all.
Oh my goodness. The 6 of Cups is a card that takes you back to the happy memories from your past, whether as a child, teenager, or young adult. You may simply be revisiting those memories in your mind, or you may travel back to your childhood home or reconnect with your childhood friends. You could go to a high school reunion or reconnect with an old buddy.
Oh my God, my high school reunion's in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
My 20 year. What the fuck? Okay, go on.
A teenage sweetheart or past lover may turn up again. These connections bring you a sense of joy and happiness as you reminisce over all the fun times you had together. Take this occasion to explore whether you still have a lot in common and if you wish to continue the relationship now. It shows often how the 6 of Cups often shows an increased level of harmony and cooperation in your relationships. You're ready to give and receive without expectation. You're also willing to give each other the benefit of the doubt, having moved on from challenging emotions of the 5 of Cups. It's time to turn over a new leaf and start afresh from a more positive place. It invites you to get in touch with your inner child and experience the fun, freedom, and innocence that comes with being a young child again. You might like to sit down with an adult coloring book, dance like no one is watching, play your favorite childhood games, or spend more time around happy children. When you give yourself permission to be playful, spontaneous, and creative, you connect more with your authentic self and your intuition. Oh, wow. Wait, hold on. One more thing. The 6 of Cups can also refer to children in your life. It can suggest a pregnancy, perhaps twins.
Chill.
Why?
We don't need to read this part.
Okay. Never mind.
If you want to learn more, go to biddy.com, okay? biddytarot.com.
Okay, well, we've been talking for almost 2 hours. That wasn't the plan, but apparently we had a lot to say. We missed you guys, and I love you.
I love you too. And make sure you follow us. Make sure you leave a review for this episode. You can find us at goodmoms_bad_choices on Instagram. And make sure you follow the Good Vibe Retreat. We are announcing our 2026 retreats very, 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 very soon. And we only announce, well, not only, but we announce first to our newsletter. And trips be selling out in the newsletter, y'all. So don't sleep on the newsletter. And make sure you go to goodmomsbadchoices.com to check out everything Good Moms. See you later.
Bye. And also rate and review this episode wherever you are, wherever you listen. It means a lot to us. Thank you. Bye.
I'm living so good, can't you tell? I went through a drought, that's until I found a well. Made my heaven on earth, I used to be broke as hell. Now I got the blues dancing like Beyonce Giselle. Throat chakra popping, it's power in our voices. Patriarchy kept it in a box to exploit us. Women put the P in power, so it's pointless. They want me to be good, so I make bad choices. Bad mom, not a bad mom, but a bad mom. Get her Zen on, put cannabis in her bath bomb. Walked in, boss was capping, I blew his cap off. Top dog now, I'm immune to the cat calls. Curvy in the waist, but straight to it like a dollar sign. Mother and a lover, intuitive like a water sign. Warrior in the winter, essential. sensual in the summertime. I do it all, ain't no